That sucks, but I've been there. In fact, I've been worse than that.
There we go.
We don't have to watch this shit. We have control.
As well.
Dragons. Dragons, what are you thinking?
Got a fucking Symmetra.
Two peanuts are walking through a tough neighborhood and one of them goes assaulted. I gotcha. And isn't it pretzels and not... Oh, hold on. I'm reading that fucking pun instead of looking at this video. So first of all, like, seeing what they have up here is fine. But this is exactly gold level strats that I'm expecting. So he's trying to hold up too far. Oh, you know what? I forgot I usually do my intro. So this is Elevenity. And Elevenity will be playing Roadhog. He's gold rank, or 2100 SR. It says right there. He'll be playing Reinhardt after this. But yeah, so this is what we're expecting. Low gold. And this is kind of the low gold. Yep.
I don't know why you're so forward. Like Roadhog, you're gonna die.
And no one notices. And you kind of make it out. But either way, it was just very needlessly aggressive. Also, there's already a junk in in the base.
Reinhardt's in. He almost charged me.
So let me just... It's a little stuttery. It wasn't stuttery like when I was reviewing it later this afternoon. So here, this is one of the things I've been noticing about this person in particular.
I got a Winston though.
We'll just go back. For whatever reason, you just don't shoot this Reinhardt, and you do it a couple times throughout the game, where like you're just kind of having this like man-to-man like look. You're like, all right, I could shoot you, but I'm not going to. Any damage is good to put on. Right, and then you flank. This is a cool idea. One thing to notice is that when you flank, always remember this, whenever flanking from behind, so we know people are here, we can physically see someone here. The problem is the respawn's over here, so when you cut off this way, be very wary of people between the spawn and you. You kind of don't do this, and we can actually check what you'll see an Ana shot go by. Right there. Right, there's the Ana shot. You know an Ana's right there. You could have been slept. A lot of bad things could have happened. I mean, it doesn't. You get a hook. You don't get a kill. But the worst could have happened, right? This is, again, playing against the skill level you're at. You're saying, oh, well, these guys are gold like me. They probably won't be able to deal with this, even if it is a bad technique. Don't try not to do bad stuff. I'm not saying flanking is bad, but normally when you want to flank, come on, YouTube. Normally when you want to flank, you want to stick your head out here. Right about here is where you want to try to hook, and then if you don't get anything, get the fuck out. But you actually go in deeper.
Winston's up top, guys. He's up top.
And someone in chat said something retarded, and I gotta bring it up. Where's it at? Where is it? I saw it. It hurt my face. No Selfless versus Rogue or Runaway versus Luxury Watch Blue today. No Crazy 88s. This is just a viewer review. Let me change that. Only viewer reviews. All right, I'll change my title. I'm sorry. Was it you, Dragons? Who said something retarded? No, it wasn't. It wasn't a pun. There it is. King Kip 42. Sorry to call you out, King Kip, but he says something that I guess it triggers me. I get upset. He says this guy needs to work on his flicks. So let me tell you something that a lot of people will not agree with. But like, if you consider flicks over here on this mouse scale, and if you consider tracking over here, if we're talking about speed, God, that does not say speed. So people think like, okay, tracking is like a very specific skill, and so is flicking. But the truth is, these two things are just concepts for people to deal with grief. The truth is this. Michael Phelps is a swimmer, right? Let's say there's water. Whatever, that's water. And this guy, he swims through water super quick, right? Pow, pow, 1 second. And then you try this, and it takes like 5 minutes. Now, what do you call this? This is called swimming, right? He just swims. What do you call this? Well, it's just swimming as well. Why is it when someone aims faster than you, you consider it flicking? Tracking would be aiming like slower, right? It's very precise, very slow. Different types of what people would consider aiming. The truth is this: don't think it's better that flicking than you, or someone is better tracking than you. Think of it; they're just better than you. Don't have these categories for you to put your grief into. Right? You're like, oh, he's better at flicking than me, but I have better tracking. Aren't I? Like, I'm happy. I'm a better person because I don't flick and I use tracking. No, you're just putting your fucking grief in different bins. The truth is you suck. All right? That guy's better than you. Stop bitching about it. Right? Yeah, the flick and tracking and all this stuff, this is all just made up stuff for bad players to compare themselves to better players. And I guess maybe at first it came around by necessity, because you want to divide this up to categorize what someone is good at and how to practice very specific skills. But I would consider it just aim. If you're below... Look, if you haven't been playing first-person shooters for like 5 years, just worried about aiming, don't worry about this shit. I won't even give like an SR amount. I'm a swimmer, confirm the pow-pow sound you make when swimming. That's what it sounds like. I am not the greatest swimmer, but I know what swimming sounds like. So yeah, don't call it flick aiming, don't call it tracking, just be like, well, I guess this guy's better than me. This reminds me of the days of Brood War, where people are like, I can't micro like a Korean. They're fast. How can I compete with them? And that's why a lot of games these days are going towards decision-making. Well, I should say decision-making, the slow side of things. They think micro is scary, and they think micro is like Koreans have the edge up. And everyone just said, oh, I can't compete with that micro. And micro is another excuse for, I mean, that is a more legit skill. But they still talk about it like it's something they could pour their grief into because they're just bad. Because some people will be like, oh, I'm as good as a Korean with decision-making, but they're micro. Oh my god, I can't deal with that. And the truth is, actually, you're probably shit at both. Yeah. Let's continue.
No.
Don't fucking trigger me again with that shit. There's always gonna be some better than you. If there wasn't, then you would have no challenge. True.
Timing's overrated.
Yeah, I learned that one in Vegas. So, let's story time, boys. Anyone play craps? I fucking love craps. It is the greatest. Why can't I draw a straight line? Why aren't you working shift? There we go. I was at the craps tables. I was over here. And I was winning, boys. I was on fire. So there should be like... We're just gonna have a bad one. Like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. And I was at the craps tables, and I was winning so good in Vegas, I started using like $20 coins. So I had like my bet. Can I do green? Oh yeah, because the chips are green. I had like 20 bucks here and 20 bucks here, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty badass. I got like, at one point, like I had 140 bucks on the table. And I was feeling pretty good because everyone else had these red ones. And they're like $5 here, $5 here. They got like $5 in the pass line. And then this motherfucker comes up, this old man, and he's like, you seem like you think you have the biggest dick at this table. What I'm going to do is put everyone to shame by throwing fucking bills on the table. He threw $10,000 in cash on the table. In which case, like, they gave him the chips. Here's your chips, sir. And, like, he had these fucking stacks of chips. Just fucking stacks of them. They're, like, this big. Alright, I couldn't even see the goddamn table. There's so many stacks of chips. And this guy proceeded to put 100 to 150 bucks on just whatever the fuck he wanted. I have not seen someone like gain more. He lost 2 to 4 grand like instantly, and then he gained like $20,000. It was nuts. Yeah, that's just a little story. If you ever think you got the biggest dick at the table, some old man's gonna show you up because someone out there's always better than you, no matter what. Which is why, Pow, we're gonna tie it all together. Tying it all together, boys. This is what it's all about. This is why I rate action the least. It's capable of the most, but going into a match saying I'm better than everyone is a really shit thing to go and say because there's a good chance someone's better than you. That's why we don't rely on it. What was that beep? Oh, that's... So if I can only undo 5. What the fuck? I can undo more than that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Up, 8. Yeah, I'm stuck. I can't undo more than that many. But why we don't rely on action is like relying on strength in a fight. There's a good chance someone's going to be stronger than you or better than you. That's why we rely on these to give ourselves essentially like a multiplication of this. So if our skill is like 5, and this is a shit example, but this is like the best example I came up in short notice. Like if our skill is 5 and our position gives us 2, then we're at 10. But if like we're going up to someone with a skill 9, well maybe they don't have good position, so they're a 9. So you can like be better than them without doing skill versus skill, because skill versus skill is dangerous. Like if you're sick one day, if you're distracted, if you know your mindset isn't there, then your skill can waver. That's why we don't put all of our chips on action. But back to the review. So this guy, he takes a long time flanking. Also, one thing to make note of, in this comp for this team, this man right here, this hog, is the only tank on the team.
Watch out for the Junkrat spam.
So here he is. He's being a little greedy. Now going through there's a little greedy. And then here's where I get really upset. He's just walking across this choke point like it's nothing. This, in higher skilled games, would be death. I was just doing regular VODs today, progressive. No Team Chro stuff yet. I'd like to actually put in a bit more effort on those. So he does this. This is just suicide. I would consider this suicide in most games. To walk across there with no tank. You're the only tank. There's nothing there to protect you, really, or save you. Junkrat jumps on point and ults with a nano boost and dies. Typical goal behavior. Again, here comes that flank again. And you get slept because you telegraphed way too much. At best, you could have gone sooner. But this is that your original issue of flanking. When you flank, you take too long during your flank. You overflank, per se. I feel like this Roadhog needs to use his right click more often. He does. I mentioned that before when he was just like staring down the Reinhardt. Yeah, he doesn't right click much at all. Well, I couldn't say that. He right clicks, but he's not using it to his extreme degree.
Are you gonna put up Telly or Shield Gem?
You already put up Telly.
So I mean, you could right click. See, he just
I've really been dying.
I don't know what you're saving it for. Now this is a good move. I like this a lot better than flanking. So this is what I mean by logistics. Get the picture back. Picture. If you want to attack someone, attack them in the logistics phase. So on Hollywood, that room that goes back. Right, and here's that security room, they call it. There's the car. There's the other one. Here's the staircase, right? The truth is that they're trying to get a better position, right? So as the team comes down here, they lead with the tank, and they usually have another tank like a Zarya or a D.Va to try to help mitigate everyone breaching this distance right here safely. It's gold, so people aren't going to be able to move in formation very well. In fact, even at Grandmaster, even 6v6 Pro stuff, this is the weakest point in a team's attacking phase, if you will. So what happens is their Ana and their Bastion, for whatever reason, get left behind. If they didn't want to do, if they had a different plan, if they weren't on board with the plan, it's gold. So they probably just like everyone just rushed in. And they forgot about these guys. And so when this happens, you come in here and you, because their team was way over here, and then you just kind of win a numbers advantage here. When this happens, I consider this like a flank. Like the main flank is going in, but their supply line. If you like, if you're thinking about military stuff, you attack the supply line, right? Reinforcements come from this way. You wanna bulk the reinforcements. So that was a good move. I like killing that bastion.
Then we just all start dying. It's like, whoa, fuck.
Miss a hook. But that happens.
I should have let you heal me. Oh no, you already have rest.
And here we could talk about the right clicking, but I think we covered that enough.
In the wrong spot.
They got a bastion. They got a bastion, guys. Watch out.
Who the hell just... Any diva?
Put Reinhardt in timeout. I like that because a lot of teams rely on the Reinhardt.
I don't think we use the top fucking teleport.
And then here you go. You start. I would call this the route phase, right? The enemy team's running away because they're weak. In that case, overflanking is okay, just because of the inherent weakness of them in the route.
Heal me.
That's cool.
I think this is where we both go up like 200 elo tonight.
So there was a. This happened so quick. You can hear the Reaper run in. Like you'll see him. He shot you once, and then he shoots you like after a couple seconds. He shoots you again.
I can't jinx it though.
I said a Reaper just randomly walked through the middle.
That's so.
All your
weird,
teleported, all your thingies got broken. That's not ours.
Your team gets a D-Mech,
Oh my god.
and you kill the mini diva.
I got res when I get back.
They nano boost the Junkrat again. This was a good kill,
Res when we get back, we're gonna die on point.
but you're out of options, right? Everyone's on point. You just kind of have to, man up and get this done.
Why not?
And the only thing to remark about this
Got
Don't
O's.
avoid it, just die.
is that, I guess it wasn't completely your fault,
Let it happen.
but the Junkrat flanked at you right away, which was smart on his part because now you have you had enemies all around you, right? You jumped on point. This is a very zoomed in drawing. And as the enemies were here, it looked like you were going to be able to get on here and just force them all this way. But their Junkrat jumped at you, which was really good because then there's a Junkrat diva over here now. And the rest of their team's over here. There's not much you could have done about that.
Just like let it happen.
Just always try to keep your enemies on one side. It's just very it's a lot easier. It's not as confusing. The more variables you have, the harder it is to play Overwatch.
Thought froze offline.
Let's not lose it here, guys. Come on.
Oh, he got me.
I told
Junk,
you.
it's all you.
I'm really low health. Ah, there was a Junkrat behind me as well.
Okay, back up, back up. We don't need
Back
to
up
lose
for
anyone
what?
else.
Now we got the calm phase. Just resetting up.
Why did we lose that though?
Junk, I thought you were
I
gonna
told-
switch to Rein. Oh, okay.
It happened.
Oh, he bullies the Junkrat. Bullies him off a Junk. Well, he doesn't really bully him off a Junkrat.
I'm gonna go try hard.
Here you are just up too much for not having another tank in the game. If you're a Reinhardt, this would be cool. But as a Hog, this is dangerous. You almost die, but your Mercy's there to bail you out. Also, your teammates to kill that Reaper. One more shot, you would have been toast.
Make sure you.
Again, we'll talk about this. This is the exact same issue you performed before. Right here, hook and get out. If you can't, you know, whatever. Like, just stay alive. But you really, really commit here.
This is crap. I overextended.
He even said it there. He overextended. But here's the thing. A lot of people consider, like, oh man, like now they're overextended. Oh man, I didn't think about the anti-heal or them actually turning around and shooting me. The truth is, right about here, you overextended. you should have hooked there. Like I don't like the nitpick very small details, but the idea I'm nitpicking is flanking. And as a flanker,
Makes you
try to get something. If you don't get something, get out.
this is crap.
Not good at Overwatch. Am I starting from the older videos? I got all of them pulled up. I'm just kind of going through the ones I wanted to. I have random decision making. So what I did this time was I actually put all the Junkrat critiques at the end, and I wanted to critique the other users first. I mean, I'll get to them all eventually.
My shield's like being destroyed.
Nice
But I'll just click around. I'll do random stuff, guys. I mean, I have all of the VODs from the review section open, and then I'll just be like, oh, I'll click on a random tab and look at it. If I like it, I'll start looking at it. If I don't like it at the time, then I'll maybe click on another one. Yeah, here you were. Oh, you're hiding. That's what you were doing.
I'm probably gonna get killed by that. Fuck. Don't you just love that?
Then you get frustrated about.
In the game,
I love that.
in the middle of the
God, I can't hit him. I'll just melee him.
way.
River behind.
That I actually like that. So while we're here, let's talk about Roadhog's ult and the uses of it. So we can see some people over here, and this is the normal attack path. I don't think we can see anyone coming that way.
Lagging in the middle, but you even nuke, so you can't.
But with two DPSers, taking down the Reinhardt shield is really good because whoever's back here is now vulnerable. Also, on a bigger scale, let me think about the architecture of this. What is it? It looks like that, pretty much. There's this small room that goes out to the balcony. Right, the health pack's in this corner, the elevator's here. Here's this small staircase. Something like that. I mean, it's not a good drawing. So most people will take the main path here, right? Everyone else, for whatever reason, they have a small little attack force here. I really like this concept as Roadhog, where you will be here and you will jam this choke point and this flank with your ultimate. And so, let's say if this was a different game and they had, for whatever reason, they had 3 people here, that means they'd have 3 people here. As you jam this, if your team wasn't committed, like, not counting like this Pharaoh or this soldier, we're just saying in general, if you can hold 3 people back with your ultimate, then the rest of your team, the 5, can crush the 3. This is, I think, one of Roadhog's greatest uses for his ultimate, is splitting the teams up. We just briefly talked about logistics phase. If the team is a little bit broken up, and 3 people go in first, and then 3 people are just behind them, if you can jump in during this distance and push these 3 back so the 5 on your team can kill these 3, that's another really good instance of it.
Run away.
So even though this, I mean, you killed the Reinhardt, you pushed the D.Va back. I mean, most people would say you didn't get much from this ult, but I liked it. And here you are pushing too far up again. I think you noticed it this time.
There's a Reaper up top.
Probably gonna drop all,
Mercy,
to be
heal me
honest.
for ult charge.
What up, Luxon? So even when you're getting healed, you can still shoot?
Die, die, die.
Yeah, he definitely has ult.
That was a lucky... I don't know if you guys saw that. This Reaper was about to fuck people up.
Die, die.
And then he got stunned right in front of the Reinhardt.
Yeah, he definitely has ult if they drop like that.
And here you are again, you're just kind of saving your shot.
Definitely has ult if they.
There's Reinhardt there. Maybe it's tunnel vision a little bit.
Chill in the back.
Someone save him.
Damage boost. Damage boost. damage boost.
And then, yeah, I think that was just. I think the last one was fine play. There's nothing too much to critique there, except for this. Look at this fucking cocky little fucker. Don't ever do this.
Yeah, fuck you, Reaper.
I've seen people lose games for shit like that. And now we're just going to skip over to the Reinhardt part. So he plays Reinhardt on this phase. So here's the initial approach.
On the top.
I would charge him, but we don't have a sorrowful bubble.
But I
I'm
wanted
gonna
to.
attempt to charge him left.
So, whatever reason, I believe that was a soldier on your team there, and a Mercy. Look at, damn. And then a soldier comes follow him. I like this. Even though you were split up from your team,
I felt that charge so hard.
this is a thing with ladder, and I mean platinum and down. Shit, grandmaster. Even in grandmaster, this shit happens. Two of your people went in, and you're like, well, fuck, I can't control their actions, but they're going in, so I have to be retarded too. I like this. The idea was fine.
Soldiers behind us.
And you couldn't find anything, so you kind of retreat here. At this point, I thought, like, okay, cool, you stabilized, but you jump in again. A bit over-aggressive. Incredibly over-aggressive.
No.
But that's... It all started because of an odd flank
Stayed on you.
where your soldier and your Mercy kind of dove past everyone without you guys.
Jesus. Yeah, that would have been the one right time to do so.
Now you're being a Reinhardt. Here you go. You're in the main path. Kind of, that was, you're doing some nice shield jumping backwards.
Behind my shield.
Soldier ult, you just put the shield up. Oh, that's some good right clicking.
Lost hope in life.
Reinhardt at his finest.
Okay, I'm gonna wait for my barrier.
You gotta wait. Reinhardt at his not finest when you have to recharge your shield.
Oh yeah, binds
Jesus
that,
Christ.
that
Get a good
anime.
pin here.
Play with us if you want.
For those that don't know, pinning,
Binds
he's at 55%.
that
He's at 77%. Pinning is very, very good for Reinhardt's ultimate charge. This works both ways. One, if you play Reinhardt, and two, if you're playing, against him. If you see him get a couple charges off, expect the hammer being dropped soon.
Yeah, sure.
he's at like 160
Start.
right now.
Start hitting people.
He might even be a little bit.
For whatever reason, I actually just want to look in. I just want to see how the team is dying.
That anime can play
Okay, so
with
you
us.
get that guy.
Yeah, sure.
The Zarya dives in for a little bit no reason.
He's at
Symmetra's
160
way in.
right now.
Go, go.
Soldier tack visors. Looks like your hog gets another hook.
See if I can get this off here.
Noise.
Really good hammer down.
Mercy. Where'd she go?
Teleporter's in the room to the right.
And you saw the teleporter,
I
but
see it.
a little bit too tunnely. And even if you weren't tunnel visioned, it's good to be with your team during the graviton, just to protect them.
Oh, he just stopped.
I wouldn't say this is mispositioned by any means. It's just
Room to the right.
it looked. I mean, that looked like a great time to ult.
Teleporter's
You got the Mercy, but the problem with Mercy Symmetra is, you can kill them after the Mercy res, but then they'll just come back with the teleporter. I mean, technically there, you had to fight that same wave 3 times.
Oh, yeah. We got a mercy res.
Aiming's overrated.
I don't hate your play on Reinhardt.
Far right.
You've kind of been pulled into some uncomfortable situations by your team.
Let's kill Sam.
But here you are. Like, this is what Reinhardt's supposed to do. You're supposed to make that area safe. You kind of leave.
Oh, nice job, Sen.
This thing, and this should make you appreciate professional players a little bit more.
Behind my shield.
when they put all their team behind the Reinhardt shield and they all move over to this very like carefully and all together so no one gets hurt. This is what happens when you do it at gold. The Reinhardt, like, you were kind of hoping your team followed you, and here's the thing, you couldn't have done anything differently. Maybe you could have walked slower, but your shield's at 340 health. So yeah, a little bit slower and it would probably be shattered. But yeah, your guys just die during this is getting attacked during logistics. This is why it's so difficult to maintain formation during logistics phase. It does take teamwork to do this.
My shield's down. There's nothing.
So they attack you during the logistics phase. You lose 2.
Who died? Where are you guys dead at?
Oh, I'm back.
And then they decide to attack you in a very skinny hallway.
I killed 2.
Mercy's dead.
You kill 2, and then you heavily damage the Zarya.
They're in the
Your team's still doing stuff on point, so
Watch out, they're in the back.
they're just gonna clean up. You made the best out of a bad situation there.
Zari's like so lit. Zari's like 1 hit.
Get on the point, guys.
Nah, I was just gonna go like let Zari kill me.
Oh, okay.
And your team cleans up.
Look at that teleporter.
This is this is maybe I think the Symmetra was in progress of putting this shield gen down because it doesn't get reclaimed when the point got taken. In fact, you saw it get put on when the Lucio was running by. You ult a little bit overzealous, but the charge. So those that don't know, Reinhardt, no hero can gain ult charge for, I forget what the time duration is after you use ultimate. Usually it's however long your ult duration is. For Reinhardt, even though it's single, if you start doing damage right away, you won't gain ult charge. But this charge takes so long that when he lands it, he gets 25%. So it was a bit odd of an ult, but you gained, I mean, look, you're at 40% again, so it wasn't, for better or for worse, it wasn't terrible.
No, never mind. I'm not.
No. Push it to the
Is this gold? Yes, this is gold. Alright, so I think this was a really good play.
Never mind. I'm not.
For whatever, I don't know if you're to the side or if your shield is up. Let me just check. Yeah, you're to the side. And what do you do immediately? You jump back in front of everyone. So you do absorb some damage. So what do you absorb? Yeah, you absorb like, you're at 500 health. So you absorbed 309, you absorbed like 100-ish damage. And then you got the charge to protect your team. And again, that charge, look at this. When he was at 50% ult, hits 2 people, gets a little bit more. 1 hammer swing, 2 hammer swings, he's at 100% again. And now he can defend with it. Charging is incredibly important for Reinhardt.
Oh, I almost had her.
What?
Soldier.
So that was that was very well played.
You guys got this. You don't even need me.
That might have been a game-saving charge. Oh, it is. This allowing Reinhardt, this is great. You bopped him up, and then he still got stuck in front of you.
I'm gonna AFK out, guys.
But you're so deep, you just died. Nice thing, Roadhog ult.
Nice.
Out, guys.
So if you can't see this, Roadhog just cuts off everyone right here. It's like, alright, we're gonna cap, because the cap point is, like, right there. And he just pushes everyone away, so you guys win.
Nice.
Call me Mr. Pig.
No, I don't want to see that shit. Ow. So we go here. Yay, the triangle. So we start at the top. I always start with action first, because I usually critique this the least amount. You're pretty good. Your decision-making seems to be fine. Well, not decision-making, but your point and click was decent, but right-click more as Roadhog. There, that says attack more. I don't care what anyone else says, it says attack more. How much of dragons with 1,000 bits? Sorry for the punch card. It's alright, man. It's alright. If you like it, that's all it is. But thank you for the 1,000 bits, dude. Trying to teach a class here, fuck! So, as Roadhog, just attack more, right? Use your range to your advantage. Whatever that range is, you have to leverage what you're good at. So you were at mid-range, whatever, with Hog against the Reinhardt shield. Like, just keep putting damage on it. Constantly put damage on that shit. The same idea applies to hooks. Get the hook distance ingrained into you. Like, by, like, a foot or so. Know when you're out, when you, like, a hook can't land, when it can. Because a lot of the times, I think you hook, it's not hooking close is bad. It's that, like, when you flanked and the Lucio is here, you could have hooked from here, but you kind of go here, so you can get, like, a close-in shot. Hook is probably good from way over here. Or hook would have been good if you didn't even flank through the security room. Right? That would be the security room. And you probably could have landed it there, but there was a Reinhardt, yada, yada, yada. Situations are different. But, you know, use your range to your advantage. A couple things also is when Zarya was close to you on Reinhardt, I don't want to say you panic a little bit, but I think there's a little bit of panic. I will say panic. I said I wouldn't, but there is. When someone's close to you, I think you have a habit, and this is normal for like Diamond or Grandmaster or Master and under, is that when someone's right next to you, you kind of just like flip out a little bit. Not really flipping out. That's a strong word. But you kind of hasten your accuracy, or you hasten your movement. And they say haste makes waste. So that kind of happens here. You do it on Reinhardt a bit, and you do it as Hog too. In fact, the one time you just stop shooting at the Lucio, and you're like, I'm just going to melee him like 5 or 6 times. As for your positioning, we're going to give you a check here. Your positioning was poor, actually. Check minus. The reason why is you spent a lot of time flanking, and a lot of the time was over-flanking, which flanking takes time. This is just the truth of Overwatch. It's a truth of life. Like, if an army flanks around, I mean, the whole point of a flank is going around. Straight lines are faster than round lines, right? Round is slower. So flank's already slow, but if you flank like this, it's slow, but if you flank like this, it's even slower. And so you want to cut off this flanking right about here. You want to flank as little as possible to get the same amount done. You could have done your job here as you can over here at a lot of points when you were playing. As Reinhardt, it wasn't bad positioning. I think you were trying to save your team 2 or 3 times. But yeah, and by positioning, it's usually a place where you just kind of sit up. And tanks kind of have a bland taste of positioning, especially Reinhardt. If we looked at that choke point, here's the staircase. Pow, 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 pow. Car is right here. Security room here. That other room's right here. Like, tanks have a really hard time because their job is just to, like, sit here and make people pay. And you sit here and allow your team to get in. There's actually very little of this line versus line type deal. And one, that was because on attacking with Roadhog, you were the only tank. Like, you would have been the only guy standing here, and you really can't hold the line too well when you're the only tank, right? You're just going to take damage, and you kind of gotta in, out. Just to not take so much damage. But I guess the other team didn't set up at all either, right? Yeah, you guys were clashing really hard. All the time. You get a lot of flanks, though. You killed the Bastion over here and whatnot. But your positioning, again, you overflank. A lot of times you're committing too far forward. And the worst of all worst things that you did is that you moved across the choke point with no support. You didn't get punished at it from a low level, because everyone's gold, but at a higher SR, if you went over here when the enemy team's right here, they're going to kill you. You can't just run across the choke point alone with no shield. That's very, very dangerous. And in this day and age, at the higher ranks, getting a pick usually means you lose the point. Not always, but getting a pick is a very strong indication of getting a point taken from you. Along with that, I guess logistically, because you're positionally out of position, your logistics again suffer from the same fate of you spending too much time moving to flank. Right, you flunked. You overflanked. Well, I don't know the past tense of that stuff. It's English is confusing. But yeah, start looking to cut off your flank time. Get in here, see if you can get something. If you can't, get the hell out. Yeah, overflanked. Actually, it gives you a check minus as well. Information, you were actually this is the silver lining, right? When you're so aggressive, you have constant intel on the team, right? Because you're always engaged with them. You're always fighting them. So your information, like, I think you understood what was going on during most of the game. Like, yeah, Reaper got behind your back once. Whatever, that happens. It happens to fucking the best of us. So it's no big deal. But what I would leverage as an informational challenge is that I don't think you properly recognize the fact that you were the only tank when you were Roadhog. Maybe you did because you asked the Junkrat to change to Reinhardt, that's a fine suggestion, but you weren't playing like you were the only tank. So maybe you knew what was going on and you made the wrong decisions, or maybe you just really didn't internalize that you were the only tank. Because you were playing Roadhog more or less like a Roadhog would normally. You weren't playing as a team where you were not running a shield-based tank. But overall, I mean, for 2100, was it? Take all this away. 2100, it's not bad. You're making the same mistakes in a greater degree than like Masters and Grandmasters, but you're still making the same mistake. So you just gotta shave down this mistake, and that's about it. I mean, it's not bad. You're not in a bad place at all. Matchu, this is my first review. Are there any questions? Because I actually kind of have to go through these relatively quickly. Because we got a bunch. We have a lot of them tonight. Well, let me grab my tea. Let me grab my tea while any of you ask questions. I love chrysanthemum tea. While people are asking questions, I'll just tell you a little bit about this tea. It usually costs $40 a bag. Pretty high standard for tea, but it's an herbal tea, so it doesn't have any caffeine in it, so you don't got to worry about drinking it right before bed or getting all hyped up on it. Got a lot of health benefits. It's pretty snazzy. Also, they're usually dried bulbs, as the name states. It's from the mum family, so when you put them in water, they kind of blow up into little flowers. Oh. Also, it tastes really good. It's a very tasty tea. Let me look at the questions. Any questions? How do you know when to charge? You like your puns? So your puns aren't bad. Oh, shit. I'm trying to... How do you send reviews? Can someone help them? You go into my Discord and you put them in the review channel. There should be actual links with chat commands. Any tips for improving aim? No, that's a hard one. You have to practice. I mean, I could get into it deeper, but I don't want to kind of get into it here. Penguin, review your dank memes. No, your memes suck. How about that? They're the least dankest memes I've ever seen. Is it better to be in bad position with your team or good position with a few people? Oof. Oof, that's a question. Evil Hippo, good job. That's the type of stuff I expect from you guys. The rest of you guys are like, what the fuck? Heck, I'm comfortable reviewing. I'm fine reviewing any play, any SR, any system, platform, yada yada yada. Okay, so is it better to be with your team or in good position with a few people? It's better to be with your team. Sad to say, the biggest thing that can overturn all of this right here everything I say, no matter what I say, the one thing that can overturn all of it, simply, oh, I can write text. Numbers! Having the numbers advantage is amazing. Right? If you think about Overwatch or any kind of military conflict, if you have twice the number of an army as the other guy, there's like a really good chance you're going to win. Numbers is a huge fucking deal. How often do I do reviews? I do them every now and then. So yeah. Numbers advantage is it's really hard to overcome it. You can, but the thing is if you got 4 people fucking off. Hold on. I have more pictures. More pictures! King's Row. Pickety pickety pow. Let's say you got this one. You got a Reinhardt here and you got a Roadhog behind him. You're like, yeah, this is great. But for whatever reason, your dipshit teammates, like all 4 of them are up here. And they're just like fucking around with no tanks, right? What's going to happen is the 6 of their team are just going to kill these 4. And while they're killing them, you're going to try to come in here and save them. But you more likely will not. This is very situational, but we're just going overall ideas here. And then it's a 6v2, and they're just going to kill you. It's better to be in a bad position with your teammates than a good position with one other person. Now, if you're doing a 3v3, this kind of changes. Because the 3 bad position, if they get all 6 engaged on them, this engagement I would consider a logistics phase, and then your 3 can attack them. Essentially, at this point, this 3 would be a bait. It changes quickly. But yeah, it's better to be in position with your team than anything else. Out of position, right? If... come on, game. If we... Here's the funny thing, like... Let's say we got 6 people here, right? You're like, oh, great, now we can defend the point. Well, let's say you're out of position, and by that I mean the cart's here, and the enemy team's right here, and they're just pushing the cart, right? If you're out of position to this degree, it doesn't matter how good you are, like, you're fucked, right? So being out of position is I would consider it's the worst foul to have. Obviously, this, like, stupid example was the most extreme I could come up with, like, in a 5-second, you know, thought phase. But, out of position is the worst thing, right? Because the whole idea of this triangle is that I value position more than anything else in the game. In every game I've ever played, from Quake, StarCraft, Team Fortress 2, Overwatch, Dota, position is king. This is the only thing I care about. And the only reason, like, action even is up here is because you got to do something with this good position, right? You have to do something from there. You have to leverage what you worked for. Position is by far the most important thing. So, pow. Let me look at questions. I don't think there is any more. I may have missed some people. I apologize. I played Dota disgusting? Fuck you, Progressive. How do you handle people that throw or sit and spawn? You can't. You can't control people's actions. No, I was pretty good in Dota for a while. I enjoyed it. Dota is still, I think, one of the best strategic games out there. As a healer main, who should I prioritize? Right, the tank. And anyone posting ideas of, like, when low numbers took out big numbers, the reason you won't know about those battles is because low numbers took out big numbers. It's because, like, they did something great to overcome this numbers disadvantage. That's, like, literally, history is talked about, like, in wars of how the greatest battles ever, like, when low numbers took out high numbers. That's why you know about them. That's why people talk about them, because the numbers mean so much. That looks about it. So, was that it? I will go to the next one. Because we got a lot of these.